People all over the world are literally spending thousands of dollars on luxurious rehabs, workbooks, and numerous counseling sessions, yet most are still unable to find long-term sobriety. Additionally, researchers reveal that the common methods of addiction treatment produce poor outcomes. This problem is recognized on a national level. William White, a senior research consultant, stated, "Treating alcohol and other drug dependence solely through repeated episodes of detoxification and brief stabilization is clinically ineffective and constitutes a poor stewardship of personal and community resources." He also believes that recovery requires a shift that will de-emphasize expensive, high-intensity acute care and emphasize lower intensity, lower cost, and more enduring recovery support services. In one commonly cited study, researchers followed addicts over many years. Out of those that entered traditional addiction treatment, only 20% maintained sobriety after 1 year. After 8 years, only 5% abstained. In another commonly cited study, researchers Cutler and Fishbane found that alcoholics who did not use conventional treatments actually had greater success. They concluded that alcoholics that were not treated in clinical trials showed a greater improvement. They go on to say that most of the improvement which is interpreted as treatment effect is not due to treatment. This certainly shouldn't discourage you from getting help, but you need to get the right help. While many people are lured into those short-term, expensive, and popular programs that aren't scientifically based, there are handfuls of people discovering the less expensive, scientifically proven techniques that consistently produce long-term change. The reason is because most rehabs and treatment centers do not adequately teach the addicted individual proper addiction management techniques through coping skills and proven ways to rewire the brain and the key nutrients that restores neurotransmitter depletion within the brain. The conventional methods of addiction treatment stem from the Minnesota model and has remained relatively unchanged even though the last 50 years of research largely discredits its effectiveness. The Minnesota model feeds the assumption that addiction only affects individuals that lack willpower, morals, or motivation, and is purely a psychological deficit. This simply isn't true, and scientists know it. With the advances in science, neuroscientists can take an in-depth look at the brain and see what is really going on. They find that addiction is a biochemical issue. Not only are chemicals in the brain severely depleted, but this also affects other structures in the brain, throwing off its natural homeostatic state. But the brain is malleable. It can be changed, formed, remapped, and rewired. For those who struggle with addiction, incorporating simple techniques and practices that change the brain and restore its chemicals is the best practice. This way, you will no longer need the boost of dopamine that addiction provides. The addiction will stop when it becomes unnecessary to artificially stimulate the brain with chemicals. Addressing addiction as a biochemical issue has shown to dramatically boost success. One study examined 100 alcoholic patients that participated in a program that focused on restoring the biochemical change in the brain through adding simple key nutrients into their diet. According to this research, this resulted in 85% of participants staying abstinent for 42 months. Restoring the biochemical change in the brain, combined with other evidence-based techniques for managing cravings, urges, or intrusive thoughts, produces long-term success.